Hello, everybody. You're watching Bill Please, episode 126, brought to us by Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation, or PAGOR, and Freshman Masculine Wash. I'm broadcasting live here on the 20th floor of Golden Peak Hotel, Cebu City. Thank you so much for joining, and thanks for viewing, watching, and listening. And this is a special episode because today, July 22nd, it's World Brain Day. It's also called the World Federation of Neurology Day. We'll be talking about the brain, yung utak. And it's known as the World Federation of Neurology Day. And this day offers a great opportunity for us to take time to consider how amazing our brain is. The human brain is astonishing. It's amazing. And the theme for this year's World Brain Day 2026, it's brain health, access for all. Kung healthy dapat ang ating body or katawan, dapat ding healthy ang ating brain or utak. World Brain Day made its debut in 2014 as a project of the Public Awareness and Advocacy Committee of the World Federation of Neurology. Now, this international organization has been functioning for more than 50 years, representing the specialty of neurology in more than 100 countries around the world. Ano po rin ba itong neurology? It's a branch of medical science focused on diagnosing and treating disorders of the nervous system, which includes the brain, the spinal cord, and the peripheral nerves. Napaka-importanting organ po ang brain. Pag meron pong nasira sa spinal cord, sa peripheral nerves, sa brain mismo, nako, mahirap pong, hindi po yan madaling ma-manage. Neurology, the people, the doctors who are mga specialista, neurologists, they help manage conditions like stroke, epilepsy, Alzheimer's disease, and multiple sclerosis. So, ang brain health po natin, very important. Kasi, again, the 2026 theme is brain health, access for all. More than 3.4 billion people currently live with neurological conditions, making brain disorders the leading cause of disability worldwide. Kung nasira po ang brain natin, kung merong problema sa brain, sa spinal cord at saka sa mga nerves, apektado po ang ating movement, sa ating pananalita, the way we speak, the way we move, the way we walk, the way we do things. They can be affected by the poor health of the brain. So there are 3.4 billion people around the world now na may mga neurological conditions. But let me say good morning to all our viewers sa Facebook page namin, which is 96.3 W Rock. Also, we are on Instagram and TikTok. We welcome stars, comments, and reactions sa Facebook namin. And of course, the same po sa TikTok and Instagram. And this podcast, this show is being recorded for our official YouTube channel. Audio streaming. It's live, and yung website po namin is 963wrock.com. Why is brain health very important? Why does it matter so much? Brain health is more than a medical priority. It is a social and economic necessity. Healthy brains are essential for people to learn, work, care for their families, and participate in society. That is so true. Brain health is not only a medical priority, but it's also a social and economic necessity. If a person doesn't have a healthy brain, it will affect how he learns, how he works, how he takes care of his family, and how he lives and participates in society. Imagine kung maraming tao sa society may diferensya po sa utak or may medyo hindi healthy ang kanilang brain or mental health or brain health. You can just imagine the quality of people sa society na yan. If you are mentally healthy, you can perform work, you can learn fast, you can participate sa activities sa ating community. So yun, how we live is affected by our brain health. Many neurological conditions can be prevented or better managed through earlier diagnosis and risk factor control. If you have observed something clear or unnatural or no longer normal sa behavior ng tao, sa itsura ng tao, you should have yourself diagnosed early. Healthier lifestyles. So yun, lack of sleep, kulang sa tulog, kulang sa pahinga, that can make your brain unhealthy in the long run. Hindi naman kaagad-agad. Improved access to local services. You must realize na meron pong mga clinics to assist or to help people with problems, the neurological problems or brain conditions. So we are encouraged, and I encourage you to take good care of your brain. Love your brain because isa lang po ang brain ng tao. Pag yan po ay nasira, mahirap na pong maibalik sa normal and original condition ng utak. One great way to love the brain is through exercise. Do you exercise? How often do you exercise? You don't exercise? You don't move a lot? You always sit down? You are always sedentary? You're always looking at your phone? You don't have time to walk and stretch and move and run and work? Well, household chores, if you work sa bahay po ninyo, that's already a good form of exercise. Exercise is very important because getting moving keeps the blood flowing. Imagine, palagi ka lang nakaganito, most of the time, yung blood flow po, na-apekto po yan. The blood that should flow sa brain nyo, na naiimpi po yan sa palaging nakaupo. So exercise and regular body movements can improve blood flow, lalo na yung blood flow patungong brain. Because a healthy brain, normal ang kanyang blood flow to the brain and from the brain. Another key path to brain health is getting enough sleep at night. Very obvious. If you always sleep late and wake up very early, you only have about 2 or 3 or 4 hours of sleep every night, your brain suffers. I'm being assisted now by our technician, Roberto Loloy Signar, and with him are Chris Lorosano and also Nina Nilias. Thank you very much for the help. Okay. And of course, thank you to Anthony Tusi, our creative team there sa Manila, who keeps helping us create the artwork for our show and for promoting this on our social media platforms. Maraming salamat, Anthony Tusi and Strobs Hodveya. Okay. Enjoy the audio sa aming Bill Please episode 126. You can listen to us live online and on air. The human brain is a biological marvel and the most complex structure in the known universe. See? Most complex structure. And it's a biological marvel. Walang machine, walang gadget ang ma-compare mo at makasurpass sa capacity po ng ating brain. The human brain is astonishing, amazing, nothing like it. The brain is arguably the most extraordinary organ in our body due to a few standout traits. Its infinite flexibility. Take note, infinite, not finite. That's what we call neuroplasticity. Unlike computers that are hardwired, the brain can continuously rewire, adapt, and learn new things throughout our entire lifetime. Yun, yung computer, limited lamang yan po. That relies or depends on power, electricity, and nasisira din yung computer. But the computer is controlled also by a human. Yung brain po natin, the human brain, is just something that we cannot create, something that we cannot replicate, something that we cannot 100% regenerate and recreate. So, God gave us a brain that is unique, that has its own superpower. The brain's ability to store vast amounts of information, produce emotions, and dream about the future remains the greatest mystery and wonder in science. The human brain is the only object of any kind that can contemplate itself. And the brain only feels, oh, this is an important trivia. The brain pala only feels pleasure, and there are no pain receptors in the brain. So wala pala. Migraine and headache pain, they arise in the brain's covering. All right. So the brain only feels pleasure, walang pain sa brain, sa surrounding lang nito. The brain runs on electricity, producing enough power to light a 25-watt bulb. Brains have the consistency of a loose gelatin dessert. Brains removed for study are specially treated to make them firm. Bill Please, episode 126 will be back after this radio commercial break. Thank you so much for tuning in. Lightwork time is 10:14. Bill Please, episode 126. It's World Brain Day, brought to us by PAGCOR, Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation, and Freshman Masculine Wash. World Brain Day. Ano ba what's the difference between the brain and the mind? Diba? There's a difference. Ang brain po, hindi po yan natin mind. Ang mind natin, hindi po yan ang brain. Yung hardware, yung brain, yung software, yung ating mind. The brain is the physical, tangible organ made of neurons and tissues, serving as the biological hardware. The mind is the intangible, hindi nakikita, subjective product of the brain's activity, which is the software. So yung brain, ang kanyang activity, yung mind. Diyan po natin, that's where we have and feel our feelings and emotions, and that's where we have our thoughts and memories and self-awareness. So yun, you know the difference already. The brain, ng utak, that's the physical, tangible organ, nasa loob natin, sa ulo, and the mind is different because it's not the hardware, but the software. Tanong, who is smarter? Sino mas smart? Ang brain ng tao or AI or artificial intelligence? Pero, sino pong nakagawa ng AI? Tao rin naman, di ba? So, while the human brain excels in contextual understanding and emotional intelligence, AI offers unparalleled speed and precision in processing vast amounts of data. So sa pabilisan, lamang talaga ang AI at mabilis din maka-create ng mga images at kung ano-ano pa. Ang human brain, nahihirapan po rin tayo na maka-recall or makapagsulat, maka-create. Diyan po tayo talo. Creativity naman, hindi patatalo ang human brain. But why is the human brain so intelligent. Hindi po ito brain ng mga bright people lang, but each of us has an intelligent brain. The human brain's unmatched intelligence comes down to an oversized neocortex. Basta ganon. It's so uniquely created, vast amounts of densely packed neurons, and these are technical terms. So yun, the human brain is amazingly intelligent. Tanong, do bigger brains have, do bigger brains mean higher IQ? Pag ang tao ba may malaking ulo or brain, mas mataas po ba ang kanyang IQ? Bigger brains don't mean higher IQ. While MRI research indicates there's a slight correlation between the larger brain volume and the higher IQ scores. It so happened lang na meron ding mga genius na medyo malalaki-laki rin yung kanilang brain. Size only explains about 2% of the variance in cognitive test performance. So, hindi rin ibig sabihin na if the brain is small, at hindi ibig sabihin na mababa yung IQ. Ano ang itsura ng brain ng isang genius? Oh, yan. Genius yan. Genius po si Albert Einstein. Genius yung babaeng yan. How does the brain of a genius look like? The brain of a genius is physically indistinguishable from an average brain. So hindi mo talaga masasabi na the brain of a genius person is different from the average person. Hindi po. They more or less look the same to the naked eye. However, yung brain po ng mga genius, through neuroimaging and autopsies like those of Albert Einstein, they reveal highly specialized neural wiring. Ano pong itsura ng brain ng what they call idiot? Yung mga may diferensya po sa utak, yung mga low IQ. Physically, ito po yung sagot. Tumatawa si Chrysler at saka si Dinian. Physically, the brain ng isang low IQ, or I'll just use this word, the idiot, there is no structural or visual difference between the brains of smart and stupid people. Ang brain po ng stupid people ay hindi different sa itsura ng brain ng mga smart people. All human brains share the same fundamental anatomy. Andun ang lobes, ang mga neurons, at saka mga tissues. I want to share this with you. Insanity. Buang. Ano pong luka-luka or loko-loko? Insanity is not a medical term. So ano ang technical phrase or word niyan? Doctors use words like mental illness instead of saying insanity, mental illness, or psychosis to describe a severe break from reality. So those people that we see, naglalakad po sa kalsada, hindi na po matino ang pag-iisip, it's psychosis or a breakdown of mental health. Ito po is a mental illness, so doctors don't use the word insanity. It is usually a mix of genes, brain chemistry, extreme stress, and trauma. But what's interesting is genetics. Some people are born with a higher chance of developing these mental illness issues. It runs in families. So if you ask in Cebuano, naamoy kaliwat buang, kay buang ang tiyo, and then yung anak or cousin, it can run in the family. Mental illness or psychosis. The brain relies on tiny chemicals to send messages. Now, if these chemicals are out of balance, hindi na-feed ang brain natin ng enough chemicals necessary for good thinking, for rationalization, parang yung action ng ganon, kulang sa tama at sufficient na chemicals doon po sa brain. So, again, mental health po, keep your brain healthy by eating well, eat nutritious food, exercise, have enough sleep every night, at huwag masyadong mag-overthink, huwag magpapastress masyado. So, balance ng work, balance ng studies, balance ng business, at saka relaxation and rest. Brain damage refers to the destruction or the deterioration of brain cells. May mga taong nagjo-joke po, ang pangalang Brenda, meaning daw niyan, brain damage. Brain damage refers to the destruction of or deterioration of brain cells caused by external physical trauma like a blow, or nauntog ba, o natamaan ng a hard, solid object, yung ulo, at yun, nagkaroon ng trauma sa loob ng ulo. The most common underlying causes are traumatic brain injuries from severe accidents, strokes, and cardiac arrest. Now, these events cause the brain to swell within the rigid skull, entirely cutting off circulation. So, you see, blood at chemicals talaga ang nagpapabuhay sa ating brain. Okay. There's also what we call brain death. Patay po ang brain, utak, caused by a severe, irreversible lack of blood flow and oxygen to the brain. Brain death is the irreversible, complete loss of all brain function. Wala na talagang function ang brain. It is medically and legally recognized as death. Pag patay na po ang isang tao, the brain is dead. Brain dead people cannot feel pain anymore. Once brain death occurs, all activity in the brain stops completely and irreversibly, because the parts of the brain responsible for sensing and processing pain are no longer working. Ano pong mga pagkain ang nakakabuti sa health ng ating brain? The ones that protect your heart and your blood vessels, because the brain relies so much on the flow of blood. So, paano napupunta ang blood sa brain? Yung pag-pump po ng ating heart at ng mga blood vessels. So, eat a lot of green leafy vegetables, fatty fish, and also berries and walnuts. Question: ano po ang weight ng heaviest human brain ever recorded? 6.28 pounds po yung brain considered as the heaviest. The lightest non-atrophied human brain, 1 pound only and 8 ounces. Inside the skull, anong kulay ng brain natin? It's a moist, pinkish, gray color. Its color comes from a mixture of two main tissue types. In contrast, kung ang brain natanggal na sa ulo, once it is preserved in museums, they look chalky and dull gray kasi wala na po yung blood. Meron po mga hayop, animals, na wala pong brain. Ito po yung jellyfish, starfish, sea anemones, sea cucumbers, and sea sponges. Wala po silang brain. The most famous animal with more than one brain is the octopus. Ilang brains ang octopus? 9. Ang utak ng octopus sa main central brain nila at saka sa base ng kanilang tentacles, 8, may brain pala yan. So brain dito, yung sa octopus naman dito may brain. So yung gano'n. Cockroaches, ilang utak ang cockroach? 2 ang utak ng cockroach. And yung squid have 3 brains. Silkworms have 11. Bill, please. Happy World Brain Day to everyone. According to Emily Dickinson, the poet, the brain is wider than the sky. Thank you, Pat Gore, Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation. Thank you, Freshman, for the sponsorship. Thank you, people watching us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Thank you, listeners. I'm W Rock, and Bill Please will return on the 29th day of July. And maraming salamat. Take good care of your brain. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Bye bye.